You say you want greatness, but do you even know what that means? Because most don't. They think it's gold medals, 100 million views, their name on a plaque, or a standing ovation. They think it's loud, but real greatness is silent. The truth? It's a war that begins in a place no one can see, and most will never understand. Let me ask you something. Where do you think legends are built? On stages? In arenas? Under lights? No. They are built in the dark, when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when the world forgets your name, when every voice in your head is screaming for you to stop, and you keep going anyway. This is the unseen grind. It's ugly, it's brutal, and it's yours. No shortcuts, no cheerleaders, just pressure, pain, and a decision. Every single day, the world offers you an exit. It whispers, rest today. Nobody will notice. Take it easy. You've earned it. Why work so hard when no one is watching? But that's the trap, isn't it? You think greatness is what people see, but it's what you do when they don't. The dark is where warriors are made. That cold place where habits form in silence. Where every rep, every revision, every choice stacks the bricks of an invisible empire. Where you kill the weakness in you, alone, without applause, without a hand on your back. You learn to become your own army, your own mentor, your own monster. And this isn't some motivational poster quote. This is real. This is what separates the ghosts from the giants. Because let me tell you something. Everyone wants to be great. Until it's time to grind in the shadows. Until it's time to wake up early, go to bed late, and repeat the same brutal routine with no promise of reward. They want greatness, but they still need an audience. They still need dopamine. They still need someone to tell them good job. But you're not here to be noticed. You're here to dominate. And domination doesn't start on the battlefield. It starts in the basement, in the back room, in the cold garage, in the sleepless nights where you question everything, and still choose to keep moving forward. You see, the grind is a lonely companion, but it's honest. It doesn't lie to you. It gives you exactly what you earn, no more, no less. And the dark, it's not your enemy. It's your forge. It strips you of excuses, burns away your comfort, and leaves only one thing behind: the truth. Do you have what it takes to suffer in silence, to bleed for a dream no one sees but you, to keep going when the world moves on? Because if not, step aside. The line is long with cowards in costume. People wearing ambition like a mask, but never daring to endure what it takes to become. But if you do, if you dare to go deep, into the darkness, into the grind, into the obsession, then something inside you will awaken. You won't need applause. You won't need permission. You'll become the type of person who executes, regardless of feeling, of fear, of failure. You'll become the type of person who doesn't just chase greatness. You become the reason it exists. Because here's the truth. No one told you. The path to greatness isn't crowded. It's abandoned. Most people give up after the first cut. They retreat the second their effort isn't instantly rewarded. They want to shine, but they fear the shadows. They want to lead, but won't even control their own habits. They want the prize, but refuse the process. And you know what happens then? They become spectators. They spend their lives watching others rise, cheering from the sidelines, living through someone else's success like parasites of potential. But you are not them. You're the ghost in the gym at 4 a.m., the lone soul grinding when others sleep. The one who doesn't need proof today, because you believe in tomorrow. You're the storm before the recognition, the silence before the symphony, the blueprint of a masterpiece no one understands yet, because they weren't there for the grind. And one day, the world will see you, not because you begged them to, but because you made it impossible to ignore you. They'll call you lucky. They'll say, you were born for this. They'll say, you had a gift. They'll say everything except the truth, that you built yourself in the dark. So keep going, keep grinding, stay unseen, because greatness isn't built for the camera. It's built in the cold, the silence, the fire, where nobody claps, and you become the kind of warrior who doesn't need them to. But how do you keep going when the silence is deafening? When the results don't match the effort, when your body aches, your mind cracks, and your spirit flickers. You keep going by building weapons within. 1. Remember your why. Because when no one believes in you, it's the only thing left that will. There will come a time. Maybe it's today. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it's coming tomorrow, when you will question everything. You'll look around and see no progress, no praise, no payoff, just pain, just repetition, just silence. And in that silence, the voices will creep in. It's not working. You're wasting your time. No one cares. You should quit. But before you let those whispers dig roots into your mind, you must remember your why, not the one you told the world. The real one, the one that's primal, the one that makes your chest burn when you think about it, the one you never say out loud because it's too personal, too raw, too sacred. That why is your tether to the mission, because the world will forget your effort. People will overlook your progress. They'll ignore the hours, the nights, the scars. They'll scroll past your blood and sweat like it's disposable. But you must never forget why you started. You weren't called to this path because it was convenient. You were called because you were hungry. Hungry for something the average could never understand. You were called because you saw something wrong in your world, and you refused to let it stay that way. You weren't here for likes. You weren't here to be accepted. You were here to become. And don't forget, pain chose you. It didn't come to destroy you. It came to shape you, to burn off the weakness, to expose the hollow parts of your life and force you to fill them with purpose. That's what pain does to the chosen. You were chosen by pain to become untouchable. So when the silence arrives, and it will, when the validation dries up, when no one texts, no one calls, no one claps, you better have your why carved into your mind like a war tattoo. Not written in ink, etched in fire. Tape it to your mirror. Scream it in your car. Write it on your wall. Burn it into your subconscious until you bleed for it. Because when the motivation dies, your why must remain. When the fatigue hits, your why must carry you. When you're ready to quit, your why must become the voice that defies the weakness inside you. Think about it. Why did you start? Was it to free your family? To prove something to yourself? To escape a legacy of failure? To break a cycle of mediocrity handed down like a curse? Was it because you looked in the mirror one day and hated the reflection staring back? That's good. That's fuel. That's rage wrapped in purpose. Remember that version of you, the one who decided, the one who looked past the odds and said, I don't care what it takes. I will not die like this. That version of you had fire, and that fire is your inheritance. Don't let the cold silence extinguish it. Breathe on it. Feed it. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because it does. Here's the truth. No one will say out loud. People don't fail because they're not talented. They fail because they forgot their why. They let the world erase it. They let the struggle convince them it wasn't real. Don't be that person. You must anchor your actions to a cause bigger than comfort. Because the path you've chosen, this unseen grind, it's not made for comfort seekers. It's made for those who burn from the inside out. So the next time your hands shake, the next time your knees give out, the next time your soul wants to disappear, close your eyes, silence the world, and remember why you started. Let it roar in your chest like war drums. Let it drown the doubt. Let it drag you back into the fight. Because you're not finished. You're not fragile. You're not forgotten. You're on a mission. And you'll either die with that why in your heart, or you'll conquer everything in your path because of it. 2. Develop rituals that don't rely on emotion. Because if you only move when you feel like it, you'll never go anywhere. Let's get something straight. Motivation is a liar. It comes and goes like the weather. It disappears the moment things get hard. It's there when the lights are on, when the music's blasting, when your bank account is full. But when life punches you in the face, when the silence sets in, when it's cold, dark, and no one's watching, motivation disappears. And that's where rituals take over. You want to build greatness? You want to become something unshakable? Then stop waiting for inspiration. Stop waiting to feel like it. Your enemy is not laziness. It's inconsistency. It's moving only when you're in the mood. It's building your future on emotions instead of discipline. Because emotions lie. Rituals don't. Rituals are the silent engines of unstoppable people. They're boring. They're repetitive. They're cold. And that's what makes them powerful. You do them when you're tired. You do them when you're broken. You do them when your heart says stop and your mind says, not today. You do them anyway. Because rituals don't negotiate with weakness. Ask yourself this. What do you do every day no matter what? Not when it's easy, but when it's hard. Because that's who you really are. Not your intentions. Not your dreams. Your rituals. The world is filled with people who talk a big game. But ritual is the separator. Think of rituals like armor. You put them on, and you become untouchable. You don't need a good mood. You don't need good weather. You don't need approval. You need repetition. Wake up at the same time. Train your body even when it aches. Build your business, your mind, your habits on schedule. Whether the sun is shining or the storm is raging, you move. Not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. That is what separates warriors from the wounded. The warrior doesn't rely on emotion to act. They build a system. They build a fortress of behavior around their future, and they live inside it. And when the storms hit, they don't shatter, they operate. And the most dangerous part? Rituals look small, so easy to skip. Just this once, just today. But every time you skip, your future skips with you. Every time you negotiate with weakness, it gains ground. And before you know it, your dreams are starving in a ditch, while your excuses grow fat in a palace. You want to stay hungry? Build rituals. You want to stay dangerous? Build rituals. It doesn't matter if it's a journal, a cold shower, a 5 a.m. run, 10 pages a night. It's not what you do. It's that you do it no matter what. That's the difference. Anyone can post when they feel good. Anyone can work when they're hyped up. But it's the ghost in the dark, the one who builds through exhaustion, the one who follows the ritual while bleeding. That one becomes untouchable. Because discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It tells you what to do. And rituals become the leash around your chaos. They tame the beast. They turn wild ambition into structured destruction. You don't get to pick your future. You get to pick your rituals. And your rituals create your future. So stop trying to feel inspired. Start showing up. Even on the worst day. Even when no one's watching. Especially then. That's how ghosts become giants. That's how shadows become storms. Through rituals. Through rhythm. Through repetition. Through resolve. Third, track progress in silence. Because if you don't measure it, you'll never master it. Most people have no idea how close they are to breaking through. Because they never bothered to track the war. They grind, they hustle, they bleed. But because no one notices, they think it doesn't matter. They confuse lack of recognition with lack of results. And eventually, they quit. But not you. You're not here to be seen. You're here to become. And becoming something legendary doesn't just happen in motion. It happens in measurement. You have to know what you're building. Not just vaguely. Not just get better or work harder. You need to track the climb. You need to document the war. Every push-up. Every cold shower. Every dollar saved. Every page read. Every day you didn't quit. Needs to be written down in blood. Why? Because when the silence comes, when the world acts like you're invisible, you need proof that you're not. You need a journal, a system, a scoreboard that screams, I am moving, I am rising, I am becoming. Because progress isn't always obvious. It doesn't come with fireworks. Sometimes it's subtle, invisible. You wake up one day, and your mind doesn't panic anymore. You say no to things that used to tempt you. You choose peace over drama. You fight the same demons. But this time, they don't win. That's growth. But if you're not tracking, you'll miss it. And if you miss it, you'll doubt it. And if you doubt it, you'll destroy it. Measure the silent victories. Because in the dark, they're all you have. Think of your progress tracker like a battle log. Each entry is proof of your discipline. Each tally is another crack in the wall between you and greatness. You may not feel stronger today, but your log will tell you the truth. And when your mind lies, when it says, you're wasting time, open that page. Look at the numbers. Look at the evidence. And silence the lie. The world keeps score by status, but warriors keep score by discipline. And make no mistake, this is war. So treat it like war. Track everything. Don't just hope you're making progress. Prove it. Let the paper testify when your strength fades. Let your tracker become a monument to your silent war. Because when you finally break through, and they ask, how'd you get here? You'll have receipts. You don't need followers. You need metrics. You don't need applause. You need accountability. Build a private scoreboard that no one sees but you. Because when the lights come on, you'll already know who you are. The work was done. The logs were written. The grind was tracked. In silence. The world only respects what it can see. But legends track what no one sees. They win in silence. They rise by systems. They master the invisible. And by the time the world opens its eyes, it's already too late. You're already unstoppable. 4. Study while others sleep. Because while they entertain themselves, you are engineering your escape. In the world of mediocrity, sleep isn't just rest. It's neglect. Mental neglect. Strategic neglect. A slow suicide of the mind. Most people are too tired to learn, too distracted to grow, too comfortable to evolve. They want success, but their minds are starving. They crave freedom, but they never feed the machine that makes it possible. You want to be different? Then make this vow. While they sleep, I will study. Why? Because knowledge is the weapon no one can take from you. It doesn't rust. It doesn't break. It doesn't expire. It multiplies. Quietly. Exponentially. Like fire in the basement. It spreads beneath the surface until the entire structure is yours. This is how you rise. Not with louder noise, but with sharper thought. Every time you choose learning over luxury. Every time you open a book instead of a browser. Every time you trade distraction for depth, you win. Not instantly, not dramatically, but relentlessly. Because while the others are numbing themselves to sleep with dopamine, you're turning your brain into a blade. They're scrolling. You're scheming. They're dreaming. You're designing. And one day, they'll ask how you got so far ahead. And you'll smile. Because you'll know. You studied while they slept. Think about this. Every answer you need already exists. Every blueprint for wealth, power, strategy, peace. It's already out there. In books, in lectures, in interviews, in forgotten scriptures. But most people don't care. They want shortcuts. They want hacks. They want magic. But you're not looking for magic. You're looking for mastery. And mastery only comes when you kneel at the altar of the mind, night after night, word after word, truth after truth. And let's be clear, you don't study to impress anyone. You study to survive, to dominate, to escape the system that was designed to keep you dumb, distracted, and dependent. Every hour you study, you are sharpening the edge that will one day cut through the bars of your mental prison. So how do you study? You don't need a university. You need hunger. Pick a topic that feeds your future. Read 10 pages a day. Take notes like your life depends on it, because it does. Listen to audio while you train. Take a course instead of watching another empty show. Reread the books that punch your soul and set your spine straight. Repetition, application, integration. That's your holy trinity. Understand this. Every hour you waste, someone else is sharpening. Every night you sleep on your goals, someone else is outgrowing you. So choose. Be the one they outpace, or be the one they never see coming. Study when it's hard. Study when you're tired. Study when you don't feel like it. Because your enemies aren't waiting, and your freedom isn't free. In the end, they'll say, "You're lucky." But luck has nothing to do with it. You'll know it wasn't a stroke of chance. It was deliberate evolution. Night after night, page after page. While they slept, you studied. 5. Practice ruthless self-affirmation. Because if the world refuses to believe in you, then you must become your own damn prophet. Let me ask you something. What happens when no one claps? When no one texts you? No one checks in? No one says, "You got this"? What happens when the crowd leaves and the silence creeps in? Most people fold. Most people wait for approval, validation, or some external push to keep going. They think belief is something that must come from the outside. But belief is built inside you. It's not inherited. It's not handed over. It is declared. And if you don't speak it into yourself, no one will. The truth is brutal. Most people will never see what you see. They won't understand your mission. They won't feel your fire. They'll laugh, doubt, ignore. And if you don't speak the truth back into your soul daily, you will start to believe them. That's why you must become ruthless. Not polite, not soft, not motivated. Ruthless. Stand in front of the mirror and declare war. Speak truth to your reflection until it shakes. Not because it sounds good, but because you need to hear it more than you need to breathe. Say it even when it feels fake. Especially when it feels fake. Because the brain doesn't distinguish between truth and repetition. It becomes what you say, not what you feel. So say it loud. Say it when you're broke. Say it when you're tired. Say it when you're shaking, bleeding, and on the verge of quitting. I was built for this. I'm not average. I don't break. I adapt. I don't run. I rise. I will not lose, because I refuse to stop. Repeat it until your bones believe you, until your subconscious bends, until doubt suffocates under the weight of your voice. Because here's the dark truth. The world doesn't care if you make it. It moves on. It forgets you. And every time you wait for someone else to remind you of your worth, you hand your power to someone who probably doesn't even see you. Take it back. Every morning. Every night. Take it back through ruthless self-affirmation. This isn't about toxic positivity. This isn't rah-rah nonsense. This is war. And in war, you either command your own troops, or they turn against you. Your thoughts are your soldiers. If you don't give them orders, they will follow the enemy. So direct them, daily, with precision, with fire. Stand tall, shoulders back, voice firm. Declare who you are before the world tries to decide it for you. Don't just say affirmations. Weaponize them. Turn them into rituals of reinforcement. Say them during your cold showers. Scream them after a brutal workout. Whisper them while the world sleeps and you're still grinding. Affirmation is not a luxury. It's survival. Because one day, after thousands of silent repetitions, you will become what you've been saying all along. Not because someone believed in you, but because you believed in yourself. Louder than the doubt. Louder than the silence. Louder than the world. 6. Embrace the pain. It's the only thing that's honest. Because pain never lies, but comfort always does. Let's cut through the nonsense. If you're running from pain, you're running from growth. The modern world wants you comfortable. It wants you soft, number distracted, docile. It sells you pleasure, convenience, and instant gratification like it's salvation. But it's a coffin, because growth doesn't live in comfort. It lives in the fire. It lives in the tension. It lives in the moments where you're screaming internally and still don't quit. You think pain is the enemy? No. Pain is the teacher. It's the only thing in your life that tells the truth, without apology. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't flatter. It exposes your limits, your lies, your weakness, and then it dares you to go one more round. Most people will never meet their real self because they never stay in the fire long enough to see what they're truly made of. But you were forged for the flames, not built in comfort, but broken and rebuilt in war. The discomfort you're avoiding, that's your invitation. The ache in your body, the doubt in your mind, the friction in your life. That's your training ground. Every pain has a purpose. Every discomfort is a door. But the world will do everything to keep you from opening it. Because pain is a mirror. And most people are terrified of what they'll see. But you look into that mirror. You stare into it. And you nod. Because that reflection, that's your opponent. And your future depends on whether you conquer it or not. You must understand, pain is not a punishment. It's a signal. It means something inside you is changing. It means the old you is dying. So the real you can emerge. This is why warriors grow and the weak regress. Because pain arrives for everyone, but only a few learn to welcome it. Only a few know how to say, good, it hurts. That means I'm still in the fight. So don't avoid the pain. Lean into it. When it burns, push harder. When it stings, smile. When it whispers, you can't take anymore. Whisper back, watch me. You must rewire your brain to understand this one truth. Comfort is the lie. Pain is the truth. And truth will set you free, but it will break you first. Make pain your ally. Let it guide you. Let it strip away everything fake, fragile, and fearful. Let it leave you raw, real, and ready. Every time you endure it, every time you choose to keep going when your body screams to stop, you level up, you evolve, you become untouchable. Because now you're not just someone who works hard, you're someone who thrives in hell. So the next time it hurts, good. The next time your muscles shake, your mind fogs, and your will crumbles, good. The next time you feel alone, broken, invisible, good. Because that means you're exactly where you're supposed to be. In the crucible, in the transformation, in the truth. They'll never see it. They'll never understand it. But when the world wonders how you became so cold, so sharp, so powerful, just smile and say, I embraced what they ran from, and I became what they'll never be. 7. Build an inner circle of shadows. Because even the strongest warrior needs a few silent allies in the abyss. This grind you've chosen, it's lonely, it's brutal, it's unseen. But make no mistake, you are not meant to walk it entirely alone. Because while the world is filled with noise, weakness, and betrayal, there are a few, very few, who carry the same fire. Not the loud ones, not the ones performing for attention, but the ghosts, the shadows, the silent soldiers grinding in basements, garages, empty gyms, and cold apartments. No applause, no comfort, no lies, just purpose. Find them. Why? Because isolation is a weapon, but prolonged isolation becomes a trap. Even the most disciplined mind can be worn down by endless solitude. Even the sharpest blade dulls if it's never tested against another. You don't need a crowd. You don't need fans. You need allies. You need a circle so tight it's a noose around excuses. The truth? Most people will never understand your path. They'll mock it. They'll misunderstand it. They'll try to pull you back down. Not because they're evil, but because your growth makes them confront their stagnation. So stop looking for approval in the wrong places. Start looking for warriors in the shadows. The ones who don't talk much, but move with intention. The ones who don't gossip, but build in silence. The ones who show up early, stay late, and never need to be reminded why they started. When you find them, hold them tight, not with desperation, but with respect, because they've bled like you've bled. They've suffered in silence. They've sacrificed what the world called normal for something deeper, harder, truer. These are your people. The ones who don't flinch when it gets hard. The ones who don't run when the fire gets hot, because they were born in it. Build a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a blood pact of accountability, elevation, and shared silence. You don't have to speak often, but when you do, it's strategy, not small talk. It's truth, not distraction. It's war cries, not comfort. Because here's the power of the right circle. When your strength fades, theirs can hold the line. When your vision blurs, they remind you what you swore you'd become. When your demons get too loud, they remind you you're not crazy, you're chosen. But be warned, this kind of circle cannot be forced. It cannot be faked. You don't find these people in clubs, at parties, or in crowds. You find them where the pressure lives. You find them in the hard places, in the shadows, in the fire. You find them grinding alone and realize they were never truly alone, just like you weren't. So build it slow, build it strong, one warrior at a time. You don't need quantity, you need quality. You need a handful of souls who would rather die with honor than live in mediocrity. And together, you become unstoppable. You don't just endure the silence. You turn it into a language only the elite can speak. And when the world asks how you made it, how you survived, how you rose, don't point to the crowd. Point to your circle, your ghost unit, your family forged in shadows and sealed in fire, and say, we walked alone, together. 8. Practice gratitude for the grind. Because if you don't learn to love the suffering, you'll never survive long enough to taste the success. Here's the paradox. Most never understand. If you hate the grind will break you. But if you learn to thank it, it will remake you. Everyone wants to escape the pain. Everyone's looking for a shortcut out. But the real warriors, the real architects of power, they do something different. They bow their heads, and they thank the darkness. Gratitude? Yes, gratitude. Not for the rewards, not for the easy days, not for the applause or the victories, but for the struggle itself. Because that's where the evolution happens. That's where the soul is tested. That's where the weak version of you gets dismembered and buried, and the dangerous version gets born. The grind is not your punishment. It's your invitation to transcend. Think about it. Every time you hurt, you're being shaped. Every time you're rejected, you're being refined. Every time you're overlooked, doubted, underestimated, you're being forged. So what do? You thank it. Thank the soreness. Thank the failure. Thank the hunger, the early mornings, the late nights. Thank the silence, the isolation, the tears no one ever sees. Because those things, that's your real inheritance. You see, the problem with most people is that they only feel gratitude after the breakthrough, after the goal, after the dream is real. But by then, the grind is already gone, and they never learn to love the process. But you're different. You don't wait for the reward to be thankful. You're thankful for the war itself, because the war made you stronger, sharper, colder, wiser. It made you worthy of the rewards most will never earn. You've got to rewire the way you interpret pain. When it hurts, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this giving me? And the answer is always, more than comfort ever could. Gratitude isn't softness. It's weaponized awareness. It means you see the bigger picture. You understand that pain is a currency. And every drop you pay is an investment in a version of you that doesn't even exist yet. But it's coming. And when it arrives, it will be built from this. So start saying it. Thank you, grind. Thank you, pressure. Thank you, rejection. Thank you, failure. Because you taught me how to stand taller. When others crumble under stress, you'll be the one smiling through the chaos. Not because it's easy, but because you know it's worth it. And eventually, something strange happens. You don't fear the pain anymore. You crave it. Because you know the deeper it cuts, the stronger you come back. That's the secret they never tell you. Gratitude turns suffering into sacred fuel. It transforms darkness into discipline. It turns the grind from a burden into a blessing. And suddenly, you're no longer dragging yourself through hell. You're walking through it like you own the place. Because you know every step, every scar, every sacrifice is building something eternal. So next time you're deep in the suffering, don't complain, don't flinch, don't ask for mercy. Look that pain in the eyes and whisper, "Thank you. Now give me more." 9. Create before you consume. Because the world is trying to feed you weakness. And every bite costs you your potential. Every single day you wake up, there's a war waiting for you. And it begins the second you open your eyes. Before your feet even touch the floor, the world is already whispering in your ear. Here's what you missed. Here's who you should envy. Here's what you should fear. Here's what everyone else is doing better than you. Swipe, scroll, number, compare. This is the silent slaughter of greatness, not in fire, not in chaos, but in distraction, in consumption, in mental obesity. If you don't control what you consume, it will consume you. You were not made to wake up and be fed. You were made to wake up and forge. That means before you open your feed, open your notebook. Before you check their stories, write your own. Before you consume the world, create your world. Why? Because creation is power. Consumption is surrender. Creation forces the mind to expand. Consumption shrinks it. Creation trains your spirit to lead. Consumption seduces it to follow. You weren't born to be a spectator. You were built to build. The first hour of your day is sacred. It's your launch pad. And if you give it away to meaningless consumption, you're letting thieves into your mental fortress. The algorithm doesn't care about your destiny. It's not here to inspire you. It's here to own you, to condition you, to distract you from the one thing that can actually change your life, your own action. You think checking your feed is harmless? No, it's hypnosis. You're being trained to react, to crave, to compare. And comparison is the death of identity. Every second you spend consuming what others have built is a second you didn't build yourself. Your empire dies in your thumb scroll. Your fire dims with every swipe. And by the time you realize it, you've given your edge away. So flip the script. Create first. Make something. Anything. Write. Train. Building plan. Sketch your vision. Design your strategy. Take control of your body, your mind, your minutes. Create a ritual so strong that consumption becomes secondary. Not forbidden, controlled, not absent, disciplined. Because when you create first, you move from reactive to relentless. Creation builds identity. It tells your subconscious, I'm not here to watch, I'm here to conquer. It reinforces who you are and who you're becoming. Consumption, on the other hand, makes you forget. It turns you into a bystander in your own life, and eventually, into a stranger. So make this law in your life. Nothing enters before something is produced. Not food, not news, not noise. Let your morning be a sacred battleground, a temple of action, a space where your will wakes up and goes to war before the world even gets a chance to speak. Because you can't build an uncommon life on common habits. And you can't dominate the world if you're always distracted by it. Let others waste their mornings in pixels and poison. You rise and create. Every single day. And when your work finally hits the world, it'll be undeniable, unshakable, unstoppable. Because you didn't consume to feel good. You created to become great. 10. Speak less. Execute more. Because in a world addicted to talking, silence backed by action is the deadliest force alive. Let's end this with the truth most people choke on. Your words mean nothing if your life doesn't prove them. We live in a generation of talkers. Everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's got a plan. Everyone's grinding. Everyone's manifesting. Everyone's waiting for their breakthrough, while shouting from rooftops they've never had the courage to climb. It's all noise. But you're not here to be heard. You're here to be felt. You want to move different? Then speak less. Let others waste breath. You waste none. Because every time you open your mouth to announce what you're going to do, you just stole energy from actually doing it. You just handed over the tension, the urgency that should have stayed locked inside you until it erupted into execution. The more you talk, the more you leak power. The dangerous ones, they move in silence. They don't explain. They don't justify. They don't declare intentions. They just execute, quietly, ruthlessly, daily. By the time they speak, it's too late. The results have already carved their names into the world. Ask yourself, do you want to be known for what you say or what you built? Talking feels good. It gives the illusion of progress. It tricks your brain into thinking you've already done something. That's the trap. But the ones who rise, they keep it cold, keep it close. They speak with results, not promises, not posts, proof. And when you learn to speak less, your movements get sharper, your mind gets clearer, your actions become sacred. You don't need the world's approval. You don't need a cheer squad. You don't need to keep reminding everyone of what's coming. Because what's coming doesn't need to be advertised. It needs to be delivered. You've already said enough. Now it's time to let your silence scream. Execute when tired. Execute when it's boring. Execute when no one's watching. Execute like your life depends on it. Because it does. And the beautiful thing? Silence builds pressure, and pressure explodes. When you're quiet long enough and focused deep enough, your success hits like a shockwave. No warning, no preview, just impact. And when they finally notice, it won't be because you told them. It'll be because they felt the quake. So let them keep talking. Let them debate. Let them post. Let them try. You move in darkness. You execute in silence. You become something so sharp, so undeniable, so relentless, that no noise is ever needed. Because greatness doesn't have to shout. It just shows up and ends the conversation. The final word. You made it this far? Good. That means something in you refuses to die. That means you weren't just curious. You were called. But now you know. This path isn't lit by applause. It's carved by discipline, devotion, and darkness. You've learned the truth. That your why must be stronger than your feelings. That rituals, not emotions, must govern your progress. that you must track your silent battles, not just dream about victory. That you must study while the weak sleep, because freedom demands knowledge. That you must speak truth into yourself when no one else will. That you must embrace the pain, because it's the only force that doesn't lie. That even warriors need a circle of shadows who carry the fire with them. That gratitude isn't soft, it's sacred. That you must create before you consume, or the world will consume you. And above all, you must speak less, execute more. These are not suggestions. They are survival codes. Because in this unseen grind, there are no cheering fans, no easy wins, no shortcuts. There's just you, the mirror, the silence, the fire. So from this point forward, make a vow. No more waiting, no more explaining, no more hoping. Just movement, just war, just becoming. Let them forget you. Let them laugh. Let them underestimate you. Because while they sleep, you'll rise. While they scroll, you'll sharpen. While they speak, you'll strike. While they hide, you'll build. And one day, when the world finally sees the results of your discipline, they'll call it luck. They'll call it talent. They'll say they always believed in you. Let them. You'll know the truth. You were never lucky. You were never chosen. You were just relentless in the dark. To the returning GrimFace warriors, this is our creed. To the new ones hearing this for the first time, welcome to the shadows. Subscribe, train, execute. This isn't a trend. It's not a phase. It's a warpath. And the world has no idea what's coming. This is the unseen grind. And now, you carry it with you.